Beers to breakfast to champions? Only if you like non-malted cereals. Welcome back to A Buzz with Your Cuz, everybody. We've been taking a lot of feedback on all of the premium light beers that you are interested in us reviewing, and some that I'm interested in reviewing on my own. So there's been a lot of single votes for a ton of different beers, and we're going to get to them. There was Yuengling Flight, there was Michelob Ultra, there was Amstel Light. There were a bunch of ones that we don't think that we can get, quite frankly, because they're probably really local, but if we're in the neighborhood and we see it, we're going to grab it, amongst others. But today we're staying in the ultra premium light beer segment. How do we know it's ultra premium? Because it's got the miniature can. All kidding aside, this is the next gen light beer from Corona, right? Corona Premier. Don't hate on this beer for the reasons that I think that you might, and there's probably 2, maybe 3, until you watch the whole video. And if you are going to, make sure you put it in the comments below. All right, well, I'm gonna crank this thing open. It's 2.6 carbs, right? This is a direct competitor to the Modelo Oro that we did a couple weeks back, or whatever you watched it just earlier. So we have 2 Mexican beers, ultra premium light beers, low carb, low calorie. This bad boy's 90 calories, 4% ABV, so alcohol. So not too bad. Puts it firmly in that light beer and seltzer market. I'll get a nice pour on this here. I am going to leave a little bit in the can because I think they really intended this to be drank on a beach or on a boat or at a pool. And you do it from a can and not necessarily a glass. But we love to see what that beer looks like. Looks pretty good. Looks nice and golden. Doesn't have much aroma coming off of it. I can't come up with anything necessarily other than it smells like a light version of Corona. And by the way, Corona does have a light beer. So there's old school Mas Fina Cerveza Corona, which I think I love the best out of the 3. There's Corona Light, and now there's Corona Premier. So just real quick, 1979, Corona comes over the border from Mexico, right? Is this the Acapulco Gold they were talking about? I don't know. But yeah, so we get it in 1979, 1989. People start getting a little bit more health conscious, so they want Corona Light. And now today's next gen, Corona Premier. So this may be aimed squarely at that crossover in between like the seltzer drinker and the beer drinker. But let's take a chug here. This is fat-free, by the way. Low carb, fat-free beer. It does maintain a beer flavor. So a lot of the light beers sometimes have like a metallic, weird aftertaste. This actually does just taste like a very extremely light version of Corona. I like it better flavor-wise than the Corona Light. It is definitely not that full stuff of lime in the bottle, which is why they have it in this can. No lime necessary, I guess. But it does have a little bit of citrus to it. I would say that this is a Pilsner at heart and a seltzer body. Yeah, how else are you going to describe it? So, it does have an almost sweet. It is a borderline sweet. Not a sickened sweet, not a bread sweet, but just a, it's not bitter. There's the hops in here, and there are hops, believe it or not, there are hops in here. It's water, barley malt, non-malted cereal if you watched the intro, and hops. So that's the ingredients. Really, it's a nice beer. It's a refreshing beer. This is not a replacement for an IPA. You're not replacing a regular beer with this unless you're on a diet, but you would drink this at a barbecue, at the pool, at the beach. I think Corona is still running a Protect Our Beaches, hashtag Protect Our Beaches campaign. So they are giving back to the environment, which is nice, and they're giving back to our buzz here. 4% alcohol, not bad for a super, super light beer. So now this is one of the really super important things. This is not an InBev product. There might be people in the comments already who didn't watch this video going, I'm not drinking that, it's an InBev product. This is a Constellation brand. Don't believe me? Google it, look it up. If you're looking it up on Google now to prove me wrong, you're seeing that I'm right. This is a Constellation brand beer. They have all of the US import beers for us that you may suspect, including Modelo. We got some hate in the mail going about Modelo being an Anheuser-Busch brand. It is a Constellation brand. So there were some things that happened. People bought other people. Things happen. The bottom line is not an InBev product. So we will drink to that. Because we are of appropriate drinking age in our local municipality, just like you should be too. Cheers, Prost. That is your buzz with your cuz. Wait a second. Do I like this or the Modelo better? That is a hard choice. This is probably much better on a hot day. I felt like Modelo had more flavor. And I don't think I'm going to be able to compare all of these light beers against each other. But in case you were wondering, in the battle of the ultra premium light beers from Mexico, Modelo has the edge on flavor. This probably has the edge on drinkability, meaning you could drink 12 of these and maybe still feel a little bit hydrated. So we'll also drink to that. Don't forget to comment below. Follow us here and wait for next week. We're going to switch it up a little bit. We're still in the light beer category, but it's another brand that you picked, and we think you're going to like it. So that is your buzz with your cuz and your news break.